I'd like to call the meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and the moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Revision and approval of regular and consent agenda. Are there any changes or revisions to the regular or consent agendas?
I will not have a legislative
update. All right, I'll take the motion.
I move to approve the regular and consent agendas.
I'll second it.
We made the motion to approve the regular and consent agendas as amended. Wade seconded it. All those in favor? All right. Item 5, recognitions and information. This is Gibney from Fillmore Elementary.
This is a great night because we are excited to recognize Fillmore Elementary School because our third grade class had a pass rate. 100% of our third grade students passed I-Read 3, and that is a really hard thing to accomplish. So I'd like for our third graders that were able to make it in tonight and our third grade teacher, Ms. Richmond, to come up here, and I'd like to introduce them. So this is some of our amazing third grade class, and they are wonderful readers, as you can tell, since they passed the I-Read 3. And I can tell you that our school, our kids, and our staff worked so hard this year. We did a lot of interventions through our win time, and we did a lot of enrichment activities through our win time, and all of that was possible because of the hard work of our teachers. And so Mrs. Richmond has written something that she would like for me to share tonight about all of you and about all of our staff at Fillmore. So she says, it has been an honor to work with this group of diligent learners. They have taken our goals as a school and made goals for themselves, and they have surpassed them with grace and dignity. None of this would have been possible without the collective effort of the staff at Fillmore, from the kindergarten teachers to the aides and special teachers, and even our custodial and office staff. All have made a point to encourage these students to be their best, and she'd like to say a big thank you to the parents for trusting in Fillmore and for collaborating with the teachers throughout the year to ensure the success of their child. So, as she ends by saying, we are a small but a very mighty school. So, congratulations to our third grade class. I'm so proud of them. And so I will introduce you to the one who to the 10. This is Hayden Hughes. We have Hallie Hayes, Luke Underwood, Waylon Blaze, and Owen Fox. So if we could give them all a round of applause. Congratulations to our third graders.
Yes, congratulations. Thank you all for your hard work.
Thank you.
Okay, and at this time, if our, go ahead. Go right ahead.
Just to let you know, the teachers, our staff will be honored. We have been invited to the State House to be honored next week for our scores. So we're excited about that as well.
Okay, so young people, you may be dismissed at this time. This is the school night and all, and we know you probably have some reading to do. Okay, Dr. Smith, financial update.
Yep. In your board packets, you have the latest financial reports through the end of the month of August. You have your claim dockets, your payrolls, our cash flows, the transfers, and our fund reports in those packets. Our projections do continue to track positively towards all of our forecasted income, expense, and fund balances, so we're in great shape. In addition, Dr. Penrod, who's standing by, will be providing an update on the 2025 budget overview later in the budget hearing.
Project update, the Grambo from MKS.
Presentation update. Hi. Hold on. There you go. Sorry about that.
That's all right. Good evening, everybody. Certainly good to get invited back places, so thanks again for having me. I appreciate it. Got some big goings on with the project. I don't know if it came through the US 40 entrance. We actually started demo, took down a wall today to the exterior. We're installing construction entrance there. So very exciting for the field house, but we'll get to that in a second. Just do a brief update on some of the things that have happened since we met before. We had the ribbon cutting and the field dedication. Some really great drone shots from this is the Thursday night before the game. It was a real pretty evening south of Greencastle, and like I say, the drone pics they highlight the track work and whatnot. So just a couple of shots of everybody here, and then we got into the ribbon cutting ceremony. The field was hot that evening, definitely, and just was able to get. It's all about the students, so got the football team, the cheerleaders, and the band that Thomas there who played for us, and like I say, it was a great evening. It really was beautiful weather. It was great. It was fantastic. So. As with any project, there's still some open ends. We're still waiting for some pads to come from the Modes group. We have all the pads in place. Everything's safe. We just have some more custom upgrades that are coming, and just more electrical upgrades. Everything is 100% functional. There's no lag in that. So capital projects now with the lighting and the PA system. There are a few more headaches with that than there is with the field. Barton Electric is they're our contractor that's installing the Musco system. The Musco system is 100% functional for football, but there are some supply chain issues to button it up. I won't bore you with the details. Just some problem getting some brand name electrical that is specs for the job. It's already pumped through some other means right now, but like I say, that should be on the mend shortly. And with the PA system, Fanning Howie has been in touch with Barton and Fairfield. We did the sound system for the gym, so we all know that they know what they're doing. There's just a small problem with integration, and there's a piece of hardware that's going to be spec'd this week, and we'll get our hands on that, get it installed, and it should really level out the sounds and make everybody a little bit more excited about the experience. And again, 0 injuries on the project. Roof still ongoing. We finished the SPG has been on site most weekends. They were able to finish the trim on Central Elementary and on the high school. Right now we have have the architect Fanning Howie through Technical Assurance, that's their subcontractor who handles all the roofing, and JM Roofing, who is the manufacturer of the products. They'll be coming out to do punch list items to make sure that the warranty is good for years to come. And now we're on to some fun here. The field house, like I say, a lot of excitement going on. I know it's a long ramp up to us making noise out there, but it's starting. So we had a kickoff meeting with all the subs that went great. Actually, used the office next door and got everybody together. A little bit of collaboration to start everything off. It was very smooth. Got a good plan going forward. Had the asphalt removed pretty quickly, and we found a mystery basin in the middle of the parking lot. That always leads to some late evenings. We were able to track down all the water that feeds into it, and we're developing a plan as we speak to reroute that to some new storm, because that would be basically in the middle of the basketball, in the middle of the basketball court. So we don't want that. There's some selective plumbing and electrical demos gone on in the last week. That's all in the locker room. And today, major structural going on. It's exciting. I'm taking a walk over there after I get out of here, just to button up the evening. As far as maybe shaking some trees on the permits, right now we are down to local permitting, and we're promised comments. I believe it was this Friday. So we're promised comments for that. If it doesn't happen, I'll be making some phone calls to you guys. Maybe we can reach out a little bit. But that's where we are right now. We're not stuck on anything, but it's just where we are in the socket. And of course, submittals are ongoing, but the subs we're getting submittals every day, 20 a day. So, pool. Aside from a real nice partition going between the existing school and the new work, the pool's really just submittals. On-site boards, they're the GC for the entire project, but there's not much to report yet. We're ready for the pool to be in complete use, so it's just the upgrades are not now. So I'll report more as that comes closer. Thank you very much. Appreciate your time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, item 6, public comment. No public. Item 7, new business, review of bus routes and safety plan. Mr. Osborne.
So did the annual review of bus route and safety policies per Indiana Code 20-27-10-0.5. That says annual review of school bus routes and school bus safety policies. Information on the Internet website, section 0.5. A, on or before September 1st, 2019, and each September 1st thereafter, each school corporation, charter school, and accredited non-public school that provides transportation for students must review the school's school bus routes and school bus safety policies to improve the safety of students and adults. So I've done that. We've not had any major changes to our routes. We don't have any sections new this year that have presented a safety concern or anything like that. One thing that did happen, as we know, in the spring, we got the installation of the flashing lights for the school zone and the lowered speed limit during school hours, thanks to Dr. Smith for pushing that through. DDOT got all that done in the spring, so that has been really helpful. We've also had good support from, as usual, the Putnam County Sheriff's Department, helping enforce the school zone. So, questions?
No issues out here with accidents or anything since the new flashing?
Not that I'm aware of. No. And another great feature is all the buses exit out to the back now, and we have really good support again from Putnam County Sheriff's Department, our SRO, stop traffic there at 231. And so the buses, about 30 seconds it only takes for all 13 buses to get out, and then traffic is back to flow. We even encountered an emergency vehicle coming through during that time, and so the buses know to watch for the SRO's signal. If that were to happen, the SRO will stop us as the buses let that emergency vehicle go through, and then continue the bus routes.
So the construction area over here and moving the buses to the back for pickup, right?
Right.
It's gone okay.
It's going pretty well. Only thing we've run into, because now that access road is used by everybody going that direction,
Right.
Central's traffic, and so most of the time the buses just come around this direction to avoid that. But no real major issues there. And I think at Central it didn't change things a lot there, but at the high school, again on the backside, everybody likes that. And the plan that we have where they park kind of creates a box, so that's a safety zone, so a vehicle couldn't physically drive through there, and so that's been nice as well. having supported administrators here to help with dismissal. That's all. Considering all the changes.
Thank you.
Mr. Ogborn, you can stay. You can just stay right up there.
Just stay there. Because our next item of business is consideration of bus purchase.
Yep. So as part of our, I'll start, Brad, and then you can pick up on anything I left out. As part of our ongoing goal of updating our bus fleet, we're proposing to purchase 2 new trip buses, 2 new yellow route buses, and 1 new small white bus, as detailed in your board packets. These buses will update and help modernize our current fleet. The trip buses have an estimated delivery date of January 2025-ish. The 2 yellow route buses and the white bus have an estimated delivery of 12 to 15 months, so that's why I said December of next year. There's a long, very long production cycle for buses, so we're just trying to get our place in line as soon as possible. That's why we're bringing that to you tonight, so we can get in line.
We'll hand out part of the safety features on these spec buses is a product by First Light that is a lighted stop arm. If you guys want to pass that around. It's a lighted stop arm, so currently the stop arms are reflective with flashing lights. These are actually lighted with flashing lights. And then the school bus sign on the front and the back at the top is also lighted. And so one of the, I've noticed it because on my way into work, I passed 2 Clay Community Schools buses. The first one has the lighted sign. I don't see the stop arm because we don't have a stop. But I can tell right away from 3/4 of a mile way down the road, hey, that's a school bus because of the lighted sign.
Right.
I passed the other one and I can't, at the dark hours of the morning, then it can be somewhat difficult to distinguish sometimes. Might mistake it for a dump truck or something. So this is a really neat safety feature that's starting to get into the market. The 2 yellow buses that we are seeking approval for would have these safety features because they'll be in our routes that go through Putnamville and Mount Meridian, and those are the places where we have new stop arm violations because all lanes have to stop, but a lot of times the drivers go in the opposite direction to not. So this would be an excellent safety feature to help enhance the visibility of our buses.
And what do we call those other trip buses? Is that sort of a new concept for us?
It is. It's a new concept. You want to talk how we currently use our existing buses for trips already? We already have something. Go ahead and explain that.
So currently we have yellow buses that we use as our trip buses that have the luggage containers underneath. Sometimes we have to use those on routes as well because of needing it as a spare. Our newest route bus has stop arm camera. Our newest trip bus has stop arm cameras as well, and so that can sometimes cause problems with logistics trying to get that bus back in time if we needed it for a spare. So the new buses would help replace the old spares with some less old spares. And also the quicker production time of the trip buses would allow us to take the current trip bus, the main 123-4 we bought last year, and make that a regular route bus, so we could immediately get it on the road as a route bus. The trip buses then are dedicated to trips, and those are trips of all kinds: athletics, field trips. The band's going to see the Marine band again, so things like that. Karen Haven has had tours with Putnam County. We've used buses for that, or they've used our buses for that, and driver. 4-H, any trips that we might take, it might even extend to out-of-state trips. I know like elementaries, I think, have rented charter buses before, so maybe we could do that ourselves, have the driver and our buses not have to incur the cost of a charter. And also, display South Putnam on the road. We've got so many wonderful things happening here with the football field house, and now we kind of make that mobile with the trip buses.
One of the different specs between the trip buses and the original buses.
Yeah, One of the major things is they don't have stop arms or student lights. They'd be painted white, and then you can paint them different colors or wrap them in school colors and things like that. These two trip buses are transit style, which is the flat front. The benefits there is a smoother ride for the bus, which on long trips would be beneficial.
Sure.
More spacious, with the engine being in the rear. Talked with a couple of the drivers that drive or have driven transit buses, and they noticed that the noise level is a lot less up in front, especially for the driver. Also, the heat, the warmth that's generated from the engine is less. And so when you're talking about long trips, you want it to be comfortable, you want it to be quiet, and that makes for a calm environment. So it helps with that as well. Features like a tour bus might have with map lights and USB ports. They're bucket style seating. So, and then also it's an 84 passenger size bus that fits 46 passengers. So the benefit there is that you have more space between the seats. So that way, again, more comfortable. It's not as contained as a regular school bus would be.
It's not like driving to St. Louis in the old yellow school buses like you did in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah. And I talked to the school up north, and you might have heard that they have a couple, and the director says that they are very nice. Going on trips and things like that, it makes a big difference. Right. And the nice thing is it's something that can be benefited by the whole corporation, right. All grade levels, and the community around us. Right. So they'll probably be asking for our buses, not theirs.
See those trips.
Even more storage.
Yeah.
That's
and
true.
inside.
Yeah.
Do they
yeah,
have an inside too? Isn't there storage of?
Yeah, that's
inside
correct.
on the
There's
top?
storage along the top that students can put things up there. And then on this stop, because it's a transit, then it has the pass-through storage underneath, which would be beneficial for bands, because sometimes you'll have those longer items that won't fit in the bus safely and fit under the bus with the current ones. So better storage as well.
So if we get these and say the current one we're using for trips and such, immediately go into service as a regular pickup bus.
Yes.
Would these at all, because they don't have stop arms and that sort of thing, they would probably never be able to be used at all for a backup? Right.
The only thing they could be used for backup in that sense would be like our shuttles to Area 30.
Okay.
Because there you're going from campus to campus.
Yeah.
Or if it were like field trips, of course. Any place where you're not needing to stop on the roadway to pick up and drop off students. So, several other uses. That's why they also refer to it as a multi-purpose bus, similar to our small white buses, just much larger.
So will you have to use like a football team? I assume you have more than 46 people.
Yeah. And for football, we always use 2 trip buses anyway, so we would be using these 2. Yeah. And then the benefit on the other side is, normally we have multiple teams going out in the evenings. With 2 buses, then one team can take one, the other team can take one, and so always fighting who gets it.
Right.
Because I'm sure that will come.
Sure. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for working on it. Any other questions? All right, I'll take a motion to approve the bus purchases. Make a motion to approve the bus purchases. I made the motion to approve the bus purchases. Lee seconded that. All those in favor? All right. Public hearing on the 2025 budget, capital and bus replacement plans. Dr. Smith.
As part of the budget process every year, we conduct a hearing for the budget, and the budget information has been properly advertised and posted on our website. Therefore, we just need to open the hearing to allow for public comment. As part of this, I'll let you open it, and then once we get the hearing open, then Dr. Penrod has a brief overview of the budget for 24.
I'll move to open the hearing on the 2025 budget, capital and bus replacement plans.
Second.
Thank you. I made the motion and Joe seconded it. All those in favor? All right, public hearing is open. Dr. Penrod.
Thank you. Good evening. Few documents. I'll try to keep it short because I think everybody's seen this as far as public goes. It's been posted on Gateway, like Dr. Smith said. So start off first of all with the school bus replacement plan. As a reminder, this is a 5-year plan, so we'll see 25 through 2029. But it's based on the assumption that the minimum useful life of a school bus is not less than 12 years. So you'll see 5 here, but there is an assumption that each of these will last 7. And then it looks a lot like it did last year. Worked with the folks at South Putnam, Mr. Ogden, to get this to look like this. And then next year, obviously, everything just kind of moves up and over to the left. So the 66 passenger buses there at 175 each, and then 180, 185, 190, 195. Kind of like they just alluded to, the cost of a bus, to get a bus is difficult right now as far as lead time. So the cost of a bus is a little bit up in the air. So, you know, the 26 and beyond, I would take with a grain of salt because those can change drastically just within a few months, much less, 4 or 5 years. So the other thing I would point out, obviously this doesn't match the what we just talked about as far as purchasing buses. This is related to the operations fund and the not necessarily bond or purchases through the bond. And so this is just what we are purchasing and replacing, not necessarily what it is being purchased new. And then our next one is our capital projects plan. So we have to advertise anything $10,000 above, and that on the project side of things. And so we'll see that we're just estimating $50,000 each in exterior interior maintenance. This looks, talk to Dr. Smith about making this look pretty much like it did last year. You'll see the 25, 26, and 27 is a 3-year plan. Again, for interior exterior maintenance, only within the operations fund. So some of the bond stuff that we've talked about in the past and that we'll talk about in the future would not be grouped into this. And then we'll ask for this adoption date, or we'll ask for this adoption of this plan at the next board meeting, October 9th. And then the next one is the acquisition plan. And this one is just a proposed capital expenditures on not necessarily projects, but more like equipment. So again, talk to Dr. Smith. This will look very similar to what it did last year, and this is again only related to operations. And we'll ask for permission here on the permission to adopt this here on the 9th as well. And then finally, what we would consider the quote unquote the budget being advertised. This is advertised on budgetnotices.in.gov, and you'll see it as Form 3. And so we've got listed here in the middle of the page. We have listed what is important as far as the dates. So we'll ask for we've got a hearing tonight, obviously, and then we'll ask for adoption on Wednesday the 9th at the 6 o'clock meeting at the same place. Next 2 boxes are always important as well. This is the maximum levy for the operations fund, and this $14,000 is the estimated amount of money that the school loses to property tax caps. And so we've talked about that before, but that's the 1%, 2%, and 3% that's in the Constitution. So if the formula on your bill, your tax bill, generates a number higher than what you're allowed to pay, that excess just kind of goes away, and that if you had up everybody's excess, it'd be this $14,000. One thing to keep in mind is $2,821,073. That's that maximum growth, or that maximum levy that is allowed to grow this year by 4%. And so the MLGQ, or the maximum levy growth quotient, is a formula as well. It's a 6-year average, but a 2-year lag. However, House and Road Act 1499 capped that at 4%. So we'll see a 4% increase in the operations fund levy. So the next box, this bigger box here, the rainy day fund, we're just asking for an estimate or a budget of $100,000. Don't have any intention of spending $100,000, but would like to have that there in case of emergency, which is what the rainy day fund is for. And don't get that, we do have an emergency and want to spend it, we'd have to go through the additional appropriation process, which could take, I think, a minimum of 17 days. And so, in an emergency, obviously, that would be good. So we'll ask for that while we're going through this process. On the debt service side of things, I want to point some stuff out there because those numbers look pretty ugly compared to what they are currently. The board has a target tax rate. We plan to hit that target tax rate, but as you know, we advertise higher with a lot of unknowns kind of going on with some of the bond sales and repayment and the amortization schedule. There was also a large change, as you know, in AB for South Putnam, and then that got modified back down a little bit. Still a large change, but not quite as large as we thought it originally was. And so all of this in the debt service, well, all of this really, but all of this in the debt service line is advertised this high to kind of protect the school from what maybe a worst case scenario with AV or anything like that. So debt service estimate of $4,557,000. The maximum amount of funds to be raised at $4 million. The current tax levy is $2.3 million, and so that's a 69% increase. And so I just kind of want to point out that we don't intend to have a $4 million levy. We just have that in there to kind of, like I said, protect the corporation from anything that might happen on this kind of strange side as far as another AV appeal or something like that. And so we've got a large amount of money put in there for anticipated debt. And when we put that large amount of money in for anticipated debt, that bumps up the budget estimate, which bumps up the levy, and then we'll bring that back down during the 1782 period. And so, again, we're well aware of the target tax rate, and we've not missed that in the past, and we don't intend to miss that this year. It's just that we're advertising based on an AB that is 85% of the current year AB. And then as you know, South Putnam had a very large increase in AB. And so when you see the difference between those, it generates some numbers, particularly on the levy side of things, it generates some numbers that are pretty high. And so, so again, I don't expect that. I do expect that to come back down during the 1782 period. School pension debt, left that on there just to show there is no estimate here, no amount of funds to be raised. The current levy is 95,812, and so we're having a negative 100%. But I put that on there, or I left that on there for a couple of reasons. Number one, to show that that did exist, but it is paid off, and that we're dropping that off. Number two, the other reason I left it on there, I'll talk about during the operations fund. On the education fund, then we see a $9,055,111 based on ADM. Talking to Dr. Smith, watching the spreadsheet that he's got set up for people to enter data. We got the 9055111. There is no maximum fund to be raised. There's no levy or rate associated with that. And then finally, in the operations fund, budget estimate of $4,287,273, with that maximum levy of $2,821,073 raised. Couple things to point out in that box 3 on operations. It really doesn't matter what you put there as long as it's higher than the max levy, because whatever we put there, the maximum we're going to get is $2,821,073. So, so that as long as that number is at least that, we're in pretty good shape. Increase the budget by 4% because the levy increases by 4%. And then if you're looking ahead there to the right, you're saying, hey, this guy's talking about 4%. And this is clearly a 7.82% increase. So what's that about? So this is the other reason I left that on there, because on the school pension on there, because the school pension has to be neutralized from something, and so it's typically can't be neutralized from debt service, and so you neutralize that from operations. And what that means is if the school pension debt service fund generates a tax rate of 5 cents, then that 5 cents comes off of the operations fund. So if the operations fund was going to be 60 cents and the debt service fund was 5 cents, then the operations fund becomes 55 and pension debt service becomes 5. And that was put in place back when pension bonds were first allowed, and that was a way to protect the taxpayer from just increasing tax rates again. So they were allowed to be done, but they had to be done tax neutral. And so when that pension debt falls off, the operations fund gets that money back, And that's why, even though the levy only grew 4%, we have zero levy on the pension debt. The levy gets added back into the operations fund, and that's why it says 7.82, even though the max only went up 4%. So with that, you see budget estimate for the total there, total levy estimate, total current levy estimate, or total current levy. And again, I would suspect, and we'll go over that later, but I would suspect that those will come down during the 1782 period to get back to your target tax rate. And I think with that, I'd be glad to answer any questions, and if there are none, I would recommend opening for public comment.
Thanks, Brandon.
No public comments? Okay, so I guess we'll move on to a motion to close the hearing, right? We can close it.
Are you moving to?
I'd like to move to close the hearing
I'll
on the
second.
2025 budget capital and bus replacement plans. I
second.
did that and Joe seconded that. All those in favor? All right, item D, consideration of approval to publish notice of project hearing and preliminary determination hearing. Back to you, Mr. Penrod. Dr. Penrod.
Thank you. So the target tax rate, because the AV jumped so much, the target tax rate we weren't going to be able to hit with just the $7 million kind of finishing up of the lease rental bonds that we did for the large project with the football field and the activity center and that kind of, and the pool, et cetera. So one of the ways to get that tax rate to where we need is to issue a small general obligation bond, and so, or first mortgage bond, but in this case, general obligation. And so we are looking at a kind of a deferred maintenance project, so take care of things that are just kind of hanging out there that the operations fund maybe either can't afford right away or would have to kind of defer the maintenance for a couple of years. So if we sell a small bond to take that tax rate back to where we want it, but also we can get some of that done right now, avoiding the cost of increased construction down the road and that kind of thing. So kind of a brief overview, we're looking at about a $3 million sale, and again, that'll help, or that'll get us back to our target tax rate where we. And then one more thing, that more specifics will come out when Steeples are there next meeting. We'll go over all of the parameters and everything else, but tonight we're just asking permission to advertise for that.
Any questions about that?
No questions from me?
All right, so I'll take a motion to approve the publishing notice of project hearing and preliminary determination.
Move to approve publishing notice of project hearing and preliminary determination hearings. I'll second.
So Joe made the motion to approve publishing notice of project hearing and preliminary determination hearings, and Lee seconded that. All those in favor? Item E, consideration of resolution approving form of second addendum to lease. Stacy Barclay. Thank you for being here.
Right, so we know this is our continuation of everything from last year. So what we're doing is we're leaving them to lease to address the fact that there's an additional $7 million. So school corporation is funding the project through lease financing, as we've done in the past with other construction renovation projects. The lease financings are used by the school corporations across the state of Indiana to borrow for that same purpose. It does not count against the school corporation's constitutional debt allowance. The building is, of course, currently subject to the financing lease. Therefore, we are amending to allow an additional amount, and then we will use the proceeds for the additional improvements for the building. Lease rental is still within that maximum amount needed in the lease, and it's sufficient to pay the principal and interest that will be due to the bondholders.
I'll make the motion to approve the resolution approving the form of second addendum to lease.
Second it.
Holly made the motion to approve the resolution approving form of second addendum to lease. Wade seconded it. All those in favor? Item F, consideration of resolution reapproving formation of building corporation.
Relatively self-explanatory. So for the building corporation, which is a not-for-profit corporation, to be able to issue the tax exempt bonds, the IRS does require that the school board itself approves the building corporation and authorizes it to issue tax exempt bonds on behalf of the school corporation.
I move to, go ahead.
I move to approve the resolution reapproving formation of building corporation.
Made the motion to approve the resolution reapproving formation of building corporation. Joe seconded that. All those in favor? Motion carries. Item G, consideration of resolution approving supplement to master continuing disclosure undertaking.
Yes, long-winded one on that. So this is because of the Securities and Exchange Commission. The school corporation has to do the supplement to our master continuing disclosure undertaking before we can issue bonds. Essentially what it does is update the terms to show all the proper disclosures for the amount that we are pursuing. Of course, the older ones, not the fifth, the first and fourth, are the older bonds that we dealt with, so it's adding additional information. And then this agreement does require that the school corporation will agree to timely provide certain financial information to the SEC database. We have access to the website for that and provide notice of any material events.
Move to approve the resolution approving supplement to master continuing disclosure.
I'll second.
Joe made the motion to approve the resolution approving supplement to master continuing disclosure undertaking. Holly seconded it. All those in favor? Thank you.
Thank you. I'll leave
Thank you.
signature here a little bit.
Okay, thank you.
Item H, first reading of corporation policy updates.
Yep, from time to time, I bring you updates to our Neola corporation policies. Working with Neola and our administrative team, we've identified the policies that are in your packet. I believe there are 35 this time for our first reading this evening. We will revisit these policies at our October meeting for a second reading and for board approval that evening. And there's no formal action required tonight, it's just notification of first reading.
We'll do that like we did previous times.
For our reading pleasure, I see.
Yeah. Side note there, yeah.
I understand a few of them are taken
Some
away.
are just deletions, absolutely, yep.
Right.
They've been released and compiled, yep.
Yeah. Item I, consideration of overnight out-of-state trips.
Yeah. As per our policy, as we just discussed, overnight or out-of-state field trips require school board approval. In your packets there are 3 field trip requests? Okay. 2 FFA and 1 senior trip. We seek your approval for that was an update, I think. Okay, thank you. Yeah, caught me off guard there for a moment. So there are 2 FFA and 1 senior trip field trips there, and we just seek approval for those so our students have those great experiences.
I move to approve the field trip request.
You, Lee? Yes. Joe made the motion to approve the field trip request. Lee seconded it. All those in favor? Motion carries. Thank you. Item J, consideration of Central Elementary Library surplus.
I believe this is part 2 of this. I think we did this last month as well. Mrs. Slaughter's been very busy going through some of our materials in our libraries and continuing at Central Elementary. She said there's a lot to go through there. So anyway, tonight we're just coming to that with another list of surplus items for you to approve so we can surplus them.
I think there's a lot of real spill.
It could be.
Books there. Yeah,
She's discovering a lot of things.
I'm sure she is. Okay, motion to approve.
I move to approve the Central Elementary Library surplus.
Second.
Wade made the motion to approve the Central Elementary Library surplus. Joe seconded it. All those in favor? Thank you. Motion carries. Item K, consideration of Chromebook buyback.
After we replaced several student Chromebooks, as you know, we purchased a whole bunch for a lot of grades. We now have hundreds of old Chromebooks that need disposed of, and we have an opportunity to sell those old Chromebooks back to a vendor through a buyback program for pennies on the dollar, but it's better than putting them in a landfill. So we're just seeking your approval to, we worked with Mr. White with 5-Star to get this in place, and just asking for your approval to sell those back to that vendor.
On the grades a little bit worse.
Yes.
You know they're pretty bad.
What kind of success have we had with getting some reimbursement when the kids just blatantly damage their Chromebooks when they fall under that D?
Yeah, we do work to get, if there are damaged by students, to get them paid for by the parents.
Move to approve the Chromebook buyback.
Sorry. Joe made the motion to approve the Chromebook buyback. Lee seconded it. All those in favor? Item L, consideration of MOU with Putnam County Health Department.
More good news. This is a great opportunity for our students. Putnam County Health Department approached me saying they had a grant that they wanted to give $1,000 to each of our schools to help kids in need. And so each school, like I said, is going to receive $1,000. Each school will be given the money, and then they'll have to account for the money based on the grant documents and so forth. And they are going to spend that money by December. So that's for things like shoes and clothes and school supplies and, just student needs. And it's on an individual basis. It's not like a group purchase. It's all on an individual basis. And so we're just seeking approval of that MOU so we can get that money into the schools and to our kids.
So it's not anything that has to go through the nurses department or something like that?
No, they're going to pay directly to the school, and then the principals and the counselors are going to work to distribute.
Okay. Very good.
To approve the MOU with the Putnam County Health Department.
You're trying to confuse me over there. Holly made the motion to approve the MOU with the Putnam County Health Department. Wade seconded it. All those in favor? Thank you. Motion carries. Item M, consideration to terminate contract with EES Financials.
Dr. Penrod, you could be on standby here. I'll go ahead and start. We're currently contracted with Dr. Penrod for services through EES Financials. However, EES has made a business model change to eliminate their financial services to concentrate on their education initiatives, which we will continue with. Therefore, we're just seeking approval to terminate the contract with EES Financials as per their request, as detailed in your board packets. Any update, any other comments or anything on that, Dr. Penrod? Oh,
No, I think that sums it up. Okay. But I do want to say that, from an education standpoint, like Dr. Langeman does really good work. And so, I was glad to hear you're staying with him, but he does really good work on this side of things. We just want to go different directions, basically.
So now this is your own company?
Letter N is. That's the next
N
one.
is,
oh,
yes.
Sorry. Sorry. I'll ask that later. Okay. I'll take a motion then.
I move to approve terminating the contract with the EES Financials.
Awesome. Joe made the motion to approve the terminating the contract with EES Financials. Holly seconded it. All those in favor? Okay, now, item N, consideration to approve contract with CS3.
So Dr. Penrod's company is Comprehensive Systems of Support for Schools, LLC, aka CS3. We're seeking approval of the contract for his budget, ongoing financial, and owner's representative services, as shown in your board packets. These services are in alignment with what he is providing via EES Financials, but has also provided some cost savings overall as well as part of that package.
And we'll see no no break in service, correct?
We'll see absolutely no break in service, yes.
Yeah, that's kind of why we were doing it tonight, just because I'm going to stay on with Mike for a few more weeks here, but I think we might miss a board meeting to get this approved by the time I don't work with him anymore. So, we don't want to have any break in services.
A motion to approve the contract with CS3?
Yes.
Holly made the motion to approve the contract with CS3. Lee seconded it. All those in favor? Motion carries. Thank you.
Dr. Penrod, have a good evening.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Item 8, other business, there is none, so we are moving on to item 9, superintendent's report.
I want to make a few comments about student and staff safety in the light of last week. So I want to commend all of our administrators, our staff, our students, families, all the school resource officers, our law enforcement, that's sheriff, state, Cloverdale, Greencastle Police, and the community for all their understanding and commitment to safety after last week's potential threats to schools in our county. We're going to continue to strive for increased safety and security, which we've done over the last 3 years, and we will build on our experiences. The steps we've taken with increased SRO presence, entrance hardening, enhanced camera systems, visitor kiosk, door fobs, and so many other things that you guys know we've done on the back end. We've enhanced our school safety measures, but we're going to continue to take additional steps in the very near future with additional entry protocols, infrastructure changes, and increased electronic fob classroom access, which we've already completed at Fillmore, which you guys know. Nonetheless, I thank everyone who reached out and helped us navigate the unfortunate scenarios that occurred last week. As a reminder, if you see or hear something, please reach out to our administrative team and or law enforcement so we can take action and avoid sharing on social media, as that can only make the investigation harder. It provides more layers of the onion, and so the less layers of the onion, it's easier to investigate. So I just want to make that statement. Very appreciative of all the help that law enforcement has given and the support the community has given. I've really felt that. In other news, very exciting week here at South Putnam. We've had a lot of success on the athletic fields and the courts this last week, and this week's homecoming week. So it's interesting to see all the dress-up days going into the schools, seeing the administrators dressed in very interesting costumes and get-ups. It's fun seeing the teachers and students as well participating. It's been a great week coming off of last week and seeing all that, everyone just coming together and enjoying school. And so I look forward to seeing everyone out this week as we support our amazing students and coaches as they continue to compete. Other than that, thank you all.
All right, if no one has anything else.
Note that next month's meeting is a week earlier.
Second. Yeah, so it's next month's meeting is, I believe, October 9th at 6 o'clock here. And then fall break will be that week after, which is why we moved it up.